I'm Laura and welcome to class today. Today's class is going to be a full body strength workout. So if you are new to Pilates, check out some of the beginner workouts before you give this class a go. As always, as we go through, choose the options that are good for your body, take rest when you need, and most of all, look after your own body. So let's get going. We don't need any equipment specifically today, but if you know you need a towel or something like that to support you, then grab it. So feet to the bottom of your mat, and just take a moment to find the two sitting bones at the bottom of your pelvis. We're going to be sat really tall up on those two sitting bones, and you're going to use your hands just to guide the chest up and drop the shoulders down. So finding your thoracic breath into the sides of the back of the rib cage, breathing in through the nose and then out through the mouth. And then starting to, on your out breath, use that breath out to draw navel to spine and feel the pelvic floor lift up between the thighs. Now the challenge is to keep the control of those two muscles drawing in as you continue to breathe in and out. So as we find that connection, try and grow taller through your spine and let your shoulders feel heavier away from your ears. So the shoulder blades slide down the back of your rib cage. Now in your next out breath, you're going to start to tip the pelvis backwards, just starting to round the pelvis back and through the lower back. Inhale to hold this position, exhale to start to roll forwards, and then inhale to restack the spine. We're going to go a little bit further back each time. So on your exhale, tip the pelvis round through the lumbar spine, the lower back, and then just come as far as your arms allow you to without letting go of the thighs. Eye gaze forward, shoulders down. Inhale and exhale, we roll up, deepen the pelvic floor and navel to spine to engage transverse abdominis. Inhale to grow tall. Now you can keep the support of hands at the back of the thighs, or as we come a little bit further down, start to let go, which is going to challenge the abdominal muscles to control the spine and the body coming backwards and the lift. So we're trying to roll down bone by bone, initiating that movement from the pelvis. Same on the way up, we roll the spine, find the two sitting bones and then lift. Now here is where we need to check in. Is there a point where we come back that it feels like we're going to drop to the mat, or is there a point where we feel we can't return up to sitting? That is generally the area of the spine that's going to be the tightest for yourself. So here's where you may need to roll a towel up and place it at that part of your spine. Now we're just going to do one more of these, and we're going to this time roll ourselves all the way down to our mat. And once we get there, I'm just going to shuffle down a little bit, and I'm going to bring my feet a little closer. Arms to the side of your mat, heels in line with your two sitting bones, knees the width of your feet. Place your hands on your pelvis and just check that the two pelvic bones and the pubic bone are level to bring your pelvis into neutral. Back ribs down on the mat, shoulders relaxed, chin tucks in so the eye gaze is forward. So the lower back should be the lightest part of the spine or have a space between your lower back and the mat. Now we're going to take our arms to the sides of our mat. Take an in-breath, and as you breathe out, start to tip the pelvis backwards and roll up to your shoulder bridge. So we're mobilizing through the spine. We're starting to engage the muscles of the torso. And we're feeling the backs of the hips. The core muscles aren't just your abdominal muscles. We talk a lot about transverse abdominis and pelvic floor, so they're two of your deep abdominal muscles. We've also got the obliques, internal and external. We've got the muscles around the hips that help as a core muscle as well, and our back muscles, so the muscles that span the entire torso from your shoulders down to your hips are all core muscles. Okay, so as we come back down to the mat this time, we're going to find our neutral alignment and we're going to stay there. On your next out breath, deepen the points of contact into the floor and float your right leg up to tabletop. And then we're going to start to lower that leg, place it back to the ground, change sides. So we lift and then lower. So just checking in, Can I keep the points of contact into the ground without allowing my pelvis to tip forwards to arch the spine, and without allowing my pelvis to tip backwards to round my lower spine? Also, the weight of the one leg that's lifting off the ground is going to create rotation side to side of your pelvis. So we've got to try and deepen the opposite hip to the leg that we're lifting to try and maintain level pelvic bones. So the next time we lift, we're going to start to deepen the back body more so that when we lower this leg, we start to lift the opposite leg off the mat. We come into a scissor action. So we're moving from the hip joints, trying to focus on sliding gently the front ribs down towards the two pelvic bones and lifting the pubic bone up to the belly button. So we call this rib-hip connection. You want to feel that the front ribs and the pelvic bones are tightening towards each other. This is going to make it easier to engage the abdominal muscles to control where the pelvis and the spine is. Now, when you lift one leg this time, we're going to join this leg with the second leg. So we have both legs at tabletop. If you can, we're going to start to lower both legs down and lift both legs up. Can you keep that same sense of front ribs sliding to hip bones, pubic bone and hip bones, or pelvic bones, up towards your ribs, your bottom ribs? So I try and think of spreading my back ribs into the mat, narrowing my front ribs, and contracting that abdominal space. We're just going to do one more. And as the legs lift up, we're going to stay here. Interlace the hands and place them behind the head. Option is to take your feet to the mat. Inhale. This time exhale, curl head, neck and shoulders up off the mat. And then lower back down. We're going to do this 3 more times. Now the challenge is to keep your pelvis in neutral, so not allow your pelvis to tip backwards. And last 2. And last one. We're going to stay up, we're going to hold up. Now this time we are going to move the pelvis. You're going to take backwards tilt, round your lower back to the mat, and then find neutral. Now this is more challenging because we've also got to support the weight of the legs and the weight of the rib cage, neck and head. We're just going to do one more, everyone. So one more. Find neutral pelvis, stay here. Now we're going to tap the right foot to the mat and at the same time rotate your chest towards the left. Back to center, change sides. Exhale and inhale. Now we're still working on that pelvic stability. We're working through the hip joints. We're now working through the oblique muscles as we rotate the upper torso. So we're moving from the waist. I'm trying to make sure I'm not rotating from the head because this is going to take work away from the oblique muscles. We end up then moving just from the cervical spine and working the neck. When we twist to the right, this is our last one, come back to center and release your upper body down. Straighten both legs up. Bend both knees and lower. Straighten up and lower. 2 more. Up and lower. Last one. Stay here if you can. Now right leg lowers towards the mat. Deepen the back body. Think of rib to hip, hip to rib. And then lift, lower and lift. Now head, neck and shoulders down for me is a lot more challenging to stabilize my torso. So here you might want something underneath the head to make it easier to bring your back ribs down. Remember, we want to achieve this. So we make sure that we're doing what we need with our body. Now we're going to go a little bit quicker, so we scissor now. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold this position. Hands to the back of the thighs. Walk your hands up so the head, neck and shoulders are lifted. Hold onto the leg. Can you draw the leg a little closer and release your arms? Both legs open to the side, just a couple of inches. Both legs squeeze and use the inner thighs. and 3, and squeeze, and 2, and squeeze. Last one, squeeze, switch. Hold on, walk up. Can you draw the leg closer to the chest closer to the leg? Draw the shoulders down, release the arms. And open 4, pull in. 3, really work to straighten your legs here. We want to work the thighs at the same time. It's an abdominal exercise. We're also working hips, glutes, pelvic floor, quads. I think we've done one too many here. Join the legs, bend them and hug into your chest. Lower your feet to the mat, everyone. Arms come down. Take a shoulder bridge, so roll all the way up to the top. When you get here, roll the shoulder blades back and down. We're going to start to press down into the left foot. Okay, pressing down into the left foot is going to lighten your right foot. If you can, lift that leg up to the ceiling and straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Now keep that feeling of pubic bone towards the belly button, back ribs heavy, front ribs narrow. Now if you can stay with this, or we're going to straighten the leg, keep it there. We're going to circle the right leg to the left. And 4, keeping the pelvis still, 3, 2, 1. Complete this circle and reverse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee, lower halfway, push up. And 3, push up. 2, push up. Last one, push up, lower the foot. For one moment, roll the spine back down. Find neutral and roll all the way back up. Okay, from here, take the weight into the right foot. Start to lighten the left foot, lift to tabletop if you can. Hold, check your pelvis. Is your pubic bone still higher than your belly button and your rib cage? Extend the leg up and bend. Thigh bone stays vertical, so you're only extending the leg as far as you can without letting the thigh bone move away from you. And we're definitely not allowing the thigh bone to come in, because that's going to make it much harder for us. Now extend and hold, we circle to the right. 4, a lot harder on this side for me. 3, but take a range with your circles that you can stabilise. Change directions. And 4, pubic bone lifts. 3, relax the neck. 2, and 1. Complete this circle, bend the leg to tabletop. Pelvis lowers halfway. 4, and push up. 3, push up, breathe out as you push. Last one. Lower the foot, lower all the way down, and just take a really relaxed roll of your knees to one side and the other, one more each way. And roll all the way onto your side, come all the way up onto your forearm. So elbow underneath shoulder, and we're going to bend the knee so that your heels are in line with your 2 sitting bones. So top leg is going to stretch all the way out, flex the foot so that you've got the big toe edge of your foot on the floor. In this position, lift your waist to straighten your spine. Any neck issues, it's probably not a good idea to do this, or if we get an achy neck, a good thing to do is watch the elbow, turn the head to face down. Hand to your pelvis, draw the shoulder blades in and down. Okay, take a deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to lift the leg off the mat. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Inhale to lower, exhale, lift. Now as you lift the leg, we're really trying to work on stabilising through the torso. So not allowing the shoulders to sink, and we're not allowing the waist to drop. So the waist lift and the shoulder stabilizers draw the shoulders down the back. Okay, so we're working the whole side of our body, all of our postural muscles now. So the next time we lower, keep the leg here. On your next out breath, push down into the underneath leg and your top inner edge of the foot. Lift the pelvis up, lower back down. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Now if you can, we're going to start this time as we lower the hip to take your top hand behind your head. Keep going. Last two. If you can, last one, hold and lift. Top leg lifts. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now keep this foot down. Press down with your top foot to lift the underneath leg. And lower, and 3, and lower, and 2, and lower. Now hold. Can you extend the underneath leg forward and in? 3, in, 2, in, 1, in. Lower the underneath knee, lower the underneath leg and hip. So part the legs and lift up and over with that underneath arm. Excellent job. Before we do the other side, come around onto your tummy. Arms into a W position, forehead to the mat, feet to a width where you can have both pelvic bones and pubic bone on the ground. Belly lifts, legs and glutes relax. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, and we're going to lift the chest up off the mat. We're going to lower the chest back down. Head comes down last. So we lift the forehead, the nose, the chest bone, keeping front bottom ribs really heavy on the mat, drawing the shoulders away from the ears and then lower. So we want to feel the front bottom ribs heavy, the pubic bone slightly heavier than your two pelvic bones, and we want to feel that the belly is light. So the belly is drawing up away from the mat. This time as you lift, lift your forearms. Lower your forearms, lower your upper body. And again. So we lift, hold this position of the spine, work those spinal extensors, and lower the arms and release. We're going to add to this. So we're going to lift the chest, lift the forearms. If you can, reach your arms forwards only as far as you can. Keep the shoulder blades drawing down your back. Bend the arms, lower the upper body. And again, lift, up, extend, bend, lower, all the way down. One more time. So keeping the back of the neck nice and long, keeping lower back lengthening by drawing the abdominals in. Now lower the upper body. Right leg lengthens and lifts and lowers. Relax the shoulders. Now working the back of the hips, alternating leg lift, extending through the front of the hip, working the back of the hip. Just like when we've moved the spine, make sure the abdominals draw up away from the ground, okay? So we're not allowing the lower body to sink or the lower back to sink, finding that control. Now this time as this leg lowers, lift the underneath leg. So we're scissoring the legs. We're doing our swimming legs. And switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. Now keep going with the legs. Lift the upper body off the mat. Lift the forearms, so a little bit of coordination. If you can, you're going to straighten your arms. Now pause with one leg lifted. Lift opposite arm. So I've got left leg, right arm, left fingertips find the mat. As my legs switch, my arms switch. My chest stays lifted. And switch. And switch. So to be kind to the shoulders, go wider with the arms. You may have the arms slightly bent. That's okay, but what we want to make sure is that we're not allowing the chest to rotate. We're not allowing the pelvis to rotate. Now we're going to add speed to this, so we have to keep the same control. Switch, 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 switch. Now you can stay with this speed, and we're going to go as fast as we possibly can without moving the center of our body. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Slide your hands back to your shoulders, press up and take a quick child's pose. Roll up through your spine, and we're going to set up for our sideline work on the other side. So elbow underneath the shoulder, feet in line with sit bones, knees forward of the hips. Extend the top leg, place the inner edge of the foot down. Find a long spine, so lifting the waist, dropping the shoulder down, retracting the shoulders in. Inhale, exhale, lift the top leg. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. 3 more. Reach through the heel, because we want to find length. You almost want to feel that you're trying to draw the thigh bone out of the hip socket without moving the pelvis, without sinking in the waist. Now this time, as we lower, keep the foot down, we lift the pelvis up, and then down. Up, push down into the forearm. Think of trying to lift with the hip, with the waist. They work together here. And if you can, when we lower this time, hand behind the head. I like to use the hand to remind my head to gently press back. So my head isn't pushing forwards and I'm not working the back of my neck. Now this time, lift, stay up. Top leg lifts and lowers. And 3, 2, last one. Now push down with the top foot. Underneath leg lift and lower. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift and hold. Now knee comes forwards, extend. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, lower the hip and come all the way up. Take that stretch up and over. Excellent, everyone. So from here, let the body come forwards, rotate. Take a little sweep over to the other side and reach that arm over. Sometimes nice to bring the forearm down. You're going to do that one more time, so sweep forwards, around to the other side, lift the ribs up, drop the hip down, and around. Just gently breathe in as you're moving, and this time push up, come all the way up and change the position of your legs. So we're going up and over. Start to turn your chest towards your knees, sweep to the other side and reach away. And one more time each side. So try and find that oppositional reach through your arm, up, down with your hip, space between ribs and hips there. So the more we feel that opposition, the more stretch we're going to feel, and it feels really nice down the side body. Now as you come all the way around, you're going to come to kneeling. I'm going to step one foot forwards, take the hands onto the thigh. Let the hips sink forwards into a lunge stretch. And release. 2 more times. Push and release. 1 more. Push and release. Now the back leg is going to slide in. The knee comes around the ankle and your front foot is tucked in. So from the front it looks a bit like this. Hug the leg in, give that hip a nice stretch and lift up tall through your spine. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to face this way. So it's my left foot instead of my right foot forwards this time. Hands to thigh, and then push and release. Just relaxing. You've got to use that glute muscle to help push the hips forwards and down. That's where we're going to get the stretch at the front of the hip. And then scooching the back leg in. So knee tucks on the outside of the ankle, hips come down. And when we get there, just adjust if you need to. It might not feel good for the underneath knee, so if I show you this way, you may want to extend the underneath leg, and that's fine also. And then draw the knee in, find your hip stretch. And release. Well done today. That was quite challenging. Hope you enjoyed it. So please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you would like to get notifications on new classes, click the bell icon. If If you have any questions at all, get in touch, or any requests for classes, also let me know. So I hope to see you on the next video. See you soon. Bye.